Hey assholes, Yoshi here. New York is a pretty shitty place to live. Yeah. An apartment of this size and squalor costs you upwards of $2,000 a month. Crime is through the roof, and everyone wants you dead. Crackheads litter the streets. The worst part? They're the nice ones.
Thank you very much.
Have $100.
Oh my god, really? Oh, thanks, buddy. What a nice guy. Welcome to Grand Theft Auto 4, the world's most broken New York City simulator. You are one of many Eastern European illegals slumming it at Brighton Beach. The only thing to keep you company is your collection of posters of scantily clad women and a bottle of Lidl's brand vodka. You have no passport, no visa, no money, no problem. GTA 4 takes you through everything you need to know about surviving in one of America's worst cities, apart from all the other ones. But first, in order to experience such an accurate depiction of urban American living, you have to surpass the Rockstar Games launcher, a fully functional dedicated launcher for the infallible, the benevolent Rockstar Games library, which works perfectly at all time, anytime, every time. What an unforgettable experience. In any case, GTA 4 starts exactly how you would expect it to. You are dirt poor and need money fast. You may be tempted to go for the Romanian playthrough, that is to say, pick up the baseball bat stashed in the alleyway and beat the nearest hot dog vendor you see to death and nickel his money. Grab the nearest automobile of your choosing and engage in a high-stakes lethal shootout with the police. If you plan on living, however, the only option for you to take is, unfortunately, getting a fucking job. And the only way for a working class illegal such as yourself to get any kind of work in New York is through nepotism. Your cousin runs a taxi service based in Brooklyn. The pay is cheap, but chances are it's worth more than anything you got paid back in the old country. As an average New York taxi driver, you may have to engage in the odd bit of extreme violence. After all, letting your customers die is not how you generate repeat business. Not to worry, in spite of the rampant gun control laws,
The mayor has a real hard-on for gun control.
Guns don't seem that controlled. I seen plenty and I just got here.
And now you'll know where to get them for yourself. What's the problem?
there are certain entrepreneurs located throughout the city who are more than willing to suit your Second Amendment needs, with wares ranging from pistols to AK-47s to fucking coffee cups. Oh my god! And believe me when I say, you're gonna fucking need them. As previously mentioned, every New York resident is either a crack fiend, gangster, or undercover federal agent. As such, it may be your responsibility to ensure their Uber notification is the last thing they see, because there is a lot of shooting in this game. So much so that it puts your average Call of Duty to shame. It's only fitting that the gunplay is probably the most satisfying in the entire series. And let me remind you, this is America. Everyone, yourself included, has spent their entire lives on McDonald's dollar menus. This is not without reason. On top of being a prime insulator for the winter season, that 5-inch layer of fat serves as the perfect subdermal body armor, allowing your fellow Americans to tank round after round of AK bullets to the face, while also being medically proven to increase your pain tolerance. Luckily for you, however, Americans are weak and flinch at every 9mm impact like the pussies they are, working in tandem with the game's physics and animation models to create these ridiculous, over-the-top reactions to getting shot. Life in the Bronx has never been so perfectly represented so accurately. Some of you may be more interested in the British playstyle, however. For those of you who find the 3kg polymer frame of a fully semi-automatic assault weapon too much to handle, you can always find comfort in the sharp end of a 6-inch serrated stainless steel blade. It's not clean, it's not quick, hell, it's not even quiet, but it sure as shit is cost effective. Fist fighting, on the other hand, is way more fun than it needs to be. Punching, kicking, blocking, dodging. Every move has an intense weight to it, and each of your opponents, depending on where they're from and their general physique, have vastly different fighting styles with varying proficiencies in the ring. In other words, everyone in New York knows Kung Fu. The exhilarating, punchy hand-to-hand combat system is only hampered by the fact that you are forced to lock onto targets one at a time, and any attempt to take on any more than one opponent at any given moment will result in what I can only describe as a fist bukkake. Sometimes survival is not just about knowing how to fight, but knowing when not to fight, and when to just whip out the fucking strap. Compare this to GTA 5's combat system, the gaming equivalent of watching two senile old men in a nursing home flicking each other to death over the remaining jello. And yes, my GTA 5 character is literally the nostalgia critic. I have nothing to apologize for. It shouldn't be any surprise to anyone that this game knows how good its combat system is. GTA 4 carries with it some of the most drawn-out and intense firefights in the series. Unlike in San Andreas, where all the guns sound like a child slamming their forehead against a table, the weapons in GTA 4 sound... Needless to say, the sound design is top-notch, and the game even boasts some semblance of environmental destruction. Chunks of debris fly off into the air with every impact, the environment around you becoming more and more dilapidated the more prolonged the gunfight. All this being said, it shouldn't surprise any of you that this is also a game born of the 2008 generation of suspiciously detailed, dark and gritty sequels. There are videos upon videos on YouTube documenting all of the absurd details packed into the game, but none of them ever seem to touch on the most realistic part of life in New York, the AI refusing to give a single fuck. I can attest that you see some weird shit in NYC on the regular, and I must say, the tomfuckery you encounter in GTA 4 is comparatively tame. The paramedics seem to think it's their job to put you in hospital, rather than keeping you out of it. And while the police force is kind enough to respect your Second Amendment rights, they are not going to tolerate you for the audacious crime of getting run over by one of their officers. What else are they supposed to do? Apologize and let you go? Not a chance. They're gonna call the FBI on your ass before the word lawsuit even enters your vocabulary. It's a good thing then that they can't shoot for shit. After all, the only target practice or any kind of training the police receive nowadays is wasted on innocent, hard-working tax evaders like myself. Like in any video game, you'll encounter that which you can never achieve in real life. That's right. Friends. Friends who cannot go 5 seconds without calling you up to ask a favor or to go bowling with you. Yes, bowling. You all know the meme. Some fucker you met 5 minutes ago who suddenly thinks you're their best friend will ring you up and ask you to go bowling with them every fucking time. And who can blame them? It's so much fun. At least, assuming you can get the game to work, because for some reason, the game will break and refuse to launch the bowling ball, no matter how much I attempt to jack the mouse off. Like any high-functioning sociopath with the bare minimum skills for a social life, the only reason you continue hanging out with these dweebs is because of what they can do for you. Roman, for example, can source you free taxis on demand all throughout the city. The token Irish guy, however, literally offers you car bombs. Speaking of the Irish, pubs. You can get fucked up in this game, and why wouldn't you? What else are you gonna do? The greatest part about any pub are the pub fights. Swipe a single pubic hair against the nearest patron, and watch as everything erupts into a storm of alcoholic fury. Get so fucked up on J2O that you, against the odds, get rejected by a brick wall.
You weirdo.
How relatable. But you know what are worse than friends? Women. I don't know what kind of time machine they have over at Rockstar Games, but they somehow predicted Tinder down to a fucking T. Maintaining a healthy relationship in the United States is literally as easy as taking your woman to McDonald's, then going home and fucking her brains out, lending you to the realization that perhaps prostitutes offer you a 10 times more wholesome relationship for half the cost and a fraction of the baggage. Unless you're an introvert like me.
Kids need hope. You know what I'm saying?
Not really.
Who finds the smell of burning sulfur after surviving a mob massacre all the more comforting than the cold touch of a stranger from Union City. Perhaps you prefer establishments with a modicum of class, but can't afford or even be asked for a reservation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Perestroika Cabaret Club. Or if any amount of social event is too much for you to handle, you can always just fuck off home and marvel at the spectacle that is modern American television. Also, this guy, Scott Maslin, I believe, he played Claude in the intro movie for GTA 2, the cinematic for which I also believe takes place in New York, which only leads me to assume they're both in the same universe. Given the name Grand Theft Auto, aside from butchering half the population of New Jersey, the majority of your gameplay comes down to driving. And driving is certainly a learned experience.
I'm just trying to make the right decisions.
Either the wheels on your vehicles or the streets themselves have all been hosed down with weapons-grade lubricant, turning what was to be a simple right turn into Russian dashcam footage. This is not how cars work. Nevertheless, it is fucking hilarious. Attempting to fly a helicopter, on the other hand, is the most pants-shittingly horrifying experience I have endured in my gaming career. Oh, I'm gonna hit that building.
Fucking hell!
Imagine driving a tank for the rusted control panel over a sheet of ice next to a cliff. That would be a relaxing experience in comparison, and the game's radio soundtrack is just... Unlike GTA 5's radio stations, the ones in GTA 4 are actually listenable, even with half of the game's soundtrack removed due to licensing expirations. My favorite radio station is the Jazz Station, somehow adding a touch of class to an otherwise chaotic crescendo of gunfire. Like any self-respecting Slavic businessman, you cannot allow yourself to be seen without proper dress. You know what they say, dress for the job you want. Any less than an Adidas tracksuit and Nike trainers, you can kiss your cozy taxi job goodbye. But maybe, just maybe, you let things get to you, and found yourself abusing a shotgun glitch in a self-defense situation at the hospital. Bam, no more taxi job. Bam, you are now indebted to the Russian mafia. Bam, there goes your cousin's kidneys. Now you're even more broke, and need more money to pay off your debts. And for your cousin's kidney stones. It's time to get a better job. There's plenty still available to you throughout New York City. Some of them require more qualifications than others, but don't let that deter you, because this is what friends are for. Little Jacob can get you a job as a, Amazon delivery driver, delivering parcels and orders discreetly across the city. Unfortunately for you, those gangs in Los Angeles raiding those cargo containers have also caught a whiff of what you're slinging. Put them 6 feet into the ground as soon as possible before the police arrive. Some of your connections in the workers' unions may be able to hook you up in the waste disposal industry, managing a ragtag crew of underpaid, underfed, minimum wage workers, working together to clean up the streets of New York, and to ensure that the trash gets taken out on time. In more ways than one. Or, hey, the police force itself is hiring. No background check required. Just jump into a police cruiser, ready your standard issue RPG-7 rocket launcher, and take to the streets. What do you do with said criminals once you catch them, you might be asking? Well, fucking shoot them, you inbred dolt. Now here's your minority quota. If I hear one more time that you're behind on the Hispanic kill count, then motherfucker, I'm going to throw a fit. The internet is a wonderful place for you to find informative newsreels, fellow gamers, just straight up fucking porn, but most importantly, a new job.
Hi, I'm Saul Good.
All you need for a job interview is a $1,000 suit, an award-winning smile, and a resume that is 90% bullshit and 10% euphemism. The questions are exactly what you would expect from a job interview.
Anyway, give me an example of some time where you've worked as part of a team.
I work alone.
Realize that you'd rather be murdering people than doing gay shit like working for a living. Yes, as a matter of fact, I've been lying to you this whole time. GTA 4 is a game about crime. Because as it turns out, dealing drugs, speeding 5 times over the limit, and wanton destruction are all far more enjoyable tasks than working a 9 to 5. I mean, I attempted to find a new job even after this epiphany, working as a valued member of the American healthcare system. It didn't last very long. So given that this is a game about crime, what crime is there to commit, you may be asking? To which I respond, have you not been paying attention? Well, the most mundane and unapologetically typical crime you can commit in any video game whatsoever is forcing your players to endure 10-minute long, uncut tailing sequences. Somehow, Rockstar Games really managed to outdo Ubisoft on this one, by including not only multiple variations of the fucking things, but ultimately boiling down otherwise intense chase sequences to glorified tailing missions, giving the targets nigh on invulnerable health levels during the chase, up until the moment the game's scripting dictates otherwise. Outside of these odd discrepancies, GTA 4's main storyline plays to the game's strengths, while maintaining a more down-to-earth perspective on the in-game universe. While yes, most missions boil down to you being ordered to kill some guy or steal something from an isolated location in Bumblefuck USA, there are always multiple ways you can approach them, from finding a back entrance to flank and surprise your enemies, to finding ways to avoid conflict entirely. If you kill the lawyer in the mission final interview, for example, with a knife instead of a gun, the security guards will not be alerted, and you can simply walk back out of the building without so much as a scratch. It is safe to say that GTA 4 feels like the most criminal entry in the entire series. It is both ugly and dirty in its art style and thematic presentation. Liberty City is, in and of itself, a caricature of New York's terminal urban decay. Gangs control the streets, drugs flow through its veins like a malignant cancer, and the characters, though bearing the very same signature neuroticism iconic to other games in the series, drag behind them a downtrodden cynicism that lends them a more down-to-earth, if still slightly exaggerated, caricature that lends them a more grounded visage and helps them feel like actual real people. It also helps that the acting in this game is far and away the most impressive in the series, with at the very least half of the cast going for the Oscar.
I made a mistake, but I admitted it.
We all make mistakes.
Exactly. And this guy is still threatening to kill me and my family!
Whoa, whoa! Are you fucking kidding me?
No! I keep doing these favors for you, and you pay shit! I need this from you. A guarantee that you will find this man. I know he's in the city. So either you give me your word or go fuck yourself! I'm sick of this shit!
Fine!
To be frank, the environmental design and the toxic effect it has on its residents lends the impression that Liberty City itself is a character and antagonist to the story, an overwhelming, overarching, corrupting influence driving its dwellers to the verge of madness, as they are forced to indulge in their darkest vices to escape confronting their inner demons. It is here where our protagonist finds himself, a stranger in the necrotic armpit of a foreign world, consumed by the demons haunting him from a time long since past. Nico Bellic.
Life is complicated. I never thought I'd live like this. When the war came, I did bad things. And after the war, I thought nothing of doing bad things. Maybe that is no excuse.
Many far more eloquent people have already made this case, but Nico Bellic is by fucking miles the most fleshed out and compelling protagonist in GTA history. Which is honestly not that difficult of an achievement when you consider his main competition is fucking Claude or Trevor. Nico is a damaged man, trapped in a damaged world. The American dream far more akin to a nightmare the moment he stepped off the boat. It's not the first time we've seen stories of a cynical army man embark on a half-cocked mission for revenge. But how Nico's journey is written and acted throughout the entire game is so thoroughly intense that you can't help but pay attention to every minute detail. The precise nature of Nico's past and his betrayal at the hands of one of his closest friends is left vague, with only droplets of the full picture leaking through his heart-to-hearts with his cousin and the downtrodden outlaws of Liberty City. In fact, it's Nico's own personal chemistry with each of the other characters he interacts with that makes them stand out all the more than they perhaps would otherwise.
Let me tell you something. Me and this guy, we were in the army together. We were in prison together. We are like brothers. Now it's always something.
Always something.
Always something, yes.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Because it feels nice. Because it feels better to be high than not.
Does it stop you thinking?
It stops you caring, which is even better.
It's Nico's ability to empathize with his peers, in spite of the degrading circumstances they find themselves in, that makes him appear all the more human. He carries with him a distinct set of morals that keep him a step above being another generic, hyper-violent sociopath, playing into the game's incredibly complex themes of morality, and carrying the weight of Nico's, and by extension, the player's decisions. Now, I know you might be thinking, hey, Mr. Yoshi, this sounds like one of them, what do you call them, ludonarrative dissonances, you know what I mean, huh? Bonk! Now, of course, there are a lot of you in the comments waiting with bated breath to claim that the disparity of Nico's characterization and the player's own actions throughout the game world are completely and utterly inconsistent with one another. And they are. As a side note, you can completely and utterly break the executions mechanic in this game by doing literally the exact opposite of what the game expects you to do in the given situation. Alright mate, I'm sorry I had to come to this, but you leave me no choice. See ya.
Wait, what the fuck? Where is he going? What the fuck? He's gonna make it!
I got you now, you son of a bitch. There's nowhere left for you to run. Oh, he drowned, okay.
What the fuck? How is he back here? Why is he covered in blood?
Regardless, GTA 4's story and character writing is stalwart, a far more grounded interpretation of the GTA continuity that they threw completely in the trash as soon as GTA 5 hit the shelves. There are plenty of twists and turns throughout the story, and even multiple decisions for the players to partake in, that may or may not affect the story in one way or another. There are one or two of which that take place right at the very end, which I refuse to spoil for you if you haven't already experienced them. Trust me, I promise you that you will be emotionally traumatized for the rest of your life if you play through this game correctly without spoilers. But that's enough from me about this twisted but wonderful game. Thank you all so much for watching this incoherent shot of a video. And a special thank you to all of you crazy motherfuckers mad enough to subscribe to my Patreon. My gratitude truly knows no bounds. However, I have but one last thing to ask from all of you, for I need your help. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers. Thus, I would like to set a challenge for all of you. Help me achieve 100,000 subscribers by the year's end. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog, tell all those fuckwits on that one Discord server you absolutely despise. What will be your reward for helping me achieve this monumental milestone? I don't know, a fucking face reveal or feet pics or some shit. I haven't thought that far yet. But of course, I will also be live streaming this game at 7 PM British Standard Time over the next few Saturdays and Sundays. Catch me if you can. It'll be a lot of fun. And once again, thank you all for watching. And please... Oh, you